The project, which has been running for less than 2 years in St. Jamestown, has already produced 4 short films which touch on themes like competition and cooperation, truthfulness, true friendship, and forgiveness. The stories in the films are real stories told by junior youth, those between the ages of 11 to 14, and each film has been taken through a 6-phase process. In the beginning stage, stories are collected through informal interviews. Then the script is created. It is taken through the pre-production phase, followed by filming during the production phase, then goes into editing and post-production, and ends up being implemented back into the community with the use of screenings. As an existing participant in the project, I was able to be a part of all 6 phases. However, what I was most interested in while conducting my fieldwork was trying to understand how the experience for youth involved in any stage of the project helped shape how they understood their community and their role as citizens through the use of media. Additionally, I was also interested to see what kind of citizens the project was trying to help create and in what ways it was trying to do this. Throughout the months, I was able to participate in several activities hosted by the project, including writing workshops, a content creation camp, and film screenings. From these observations, what I found as a moment of astonishment during my fieldwork was the amount of creativity that was used to tell stories. It became clear to me that media was a fundamental part of the construction of identity for many of these youth, and the project, in this sense, became an instrument through which youth were able to negotiate this identity and take ownership over how they wanted to be represented, while also engaging in a learning process that is constantly evolving. In addition to using participant observation as one of my field methods, I arranged formal interviews with 2 members of the project, both with varying experiences. The interviews were a great opportunity to ask specific questions and to gain a better understanding of the project's effects on these individuals. While both consultants only reflect a small percentage of the group, it was nevertheless very intriguing to have these 2 different perspectives.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi, Anita.
How are you?
I'm good.
So, can you tell me a bit about yourself? Where in Toronto are you coming from?
I'm Siddharth, and I reside in St. Jamestown.
And how long have you been involved with the media project?
Oh, since the past 2 years, since the first film.
Mm-hmm. And what role have you played?
For the first film, I was kind of switching back and forth from camera and sound. And for the second film, I was in the cinematography department. For the third film, I did a role in the film. And for the fourth one, I was in cinematography.
How long has the media project, how has the media project, helped you understand your role in the community?
To be honest, I don't know anything that was going on in the community before I met Media Project. It kind of enlightened me about the burning issues that people are going through, as well as the community, like as a group and also as individuals.
And what do you think are some of those issues in the community that you've noticed?
There's a tennis court right behind my building. it's been raked out for the past 6 or 7 years. No one really took care of it. So there's this group in my community called St. Jamestown Youth Empowerment Project. So they're raising funds to renovate it so it can be a purposeful tennis court for residents in the community.
And how has the project contributed to shaping your identity?
Before joining the project, I took part in this program called Youth for Change. I took part in the film program in their program. So I've been to a couple of classes, and it was more of like I never sensed a group, like a community aspect in the group. Later when I joined Media Project, like people were so helpful to each other. There was no ego platform. There was a sense of friendship and teamwork, and we were all sitting on the same boat. And I want to go into the film program at university, and this has helped me a lot, taught me a lot about how films work, what goes in the pre-production, production, and post, how content is developed, and where it's emerged from.
How do you think you've grown maybe over the past 2 years?
2 years? I used to be a really shy and quiet guy before joining Media Project. Like I was always an introvert person. I never shared my ideas or thoughts, but once I was part of this, we had the group weekly discussions we analyzed media quotes. We all had an opportunity to discuss or share our ideologies. It kind of opened me up about my thoughts.
My name's Anthony. I'm from the kind of east end of Toronto, east of downtown a little bit, Cabbagetown, St. Jamestown area. I think I've been involved with the Media Project for like 8 months or so. It's kind of hard to tell. There's always a lot of things going on. And the roles I've played have been kind of dynamic, changing all the time. I started out kind of helping out just logistically, kind of moving equipment around and doing things of that nature. And because I'm a musician, I started then helping out like writing music with some of the youth and writing some scores for the films. And I think now I'm like occasionally running workshops and writing music and doing logistical stuff.
How has the Media Project helped you understand your role in the community?
I guess I would say that as far as community goes, I think that if you're not involved in a project that looks like the Media Project, I don't know if you really have a role in a community. Communities don't usually work together in a lot of senses. People generally just kind of ignore each other and don't talk to each other much, and there isn't much cooperation or collaboration within a community or a group of neighbors. So to be involved in a community, you need a vehicle to allow you to do that, and the Media Project is a vehicle that allows people to be involved in community.
What things have you learned or talents you've developed?
I guess like I said, through practice we learn a lot, and like I've never really, especially for this amount of time and in this depth, worked with youth, especially in groups. So I think working with youth in that depth, I think has kind of showed me a little bit about how much I actually enjoy it. Like I hadn't known that I would like it that much. So I learned about that. I learned that I have a strong interest in working with youth and helping them develop ideas and develop themselves. And
A recurring theme that came up from analyzing all of my notes was the subject of collaboration. Based on what I saw and what I heard, the individuals in and those in the community who had only heard about the project knew that it was very involved with creating togetherness in the community. Based on what I had heard, this was also a defining factor for those individuals participating in the project. Essentially, what I learned based on my research was that the project can only rely on the resources available in the community, and it looks to create alternative media that empowers youth to become their own protagonists, with the support of their community.